that dossier about then-candidate Donald Trump.
Democrats say that dossier is nothing more than opposition research, but the White House, it's calling it collusion with the Russians, plain and simple.
We are seeing now that if there was any collusion with Russia, it was between the DNC and the Clintons, and certainly not our campaign.
So what the White House press secretary was referring to there are the revelations this week that the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid for this now infamous dossier during the campaign.
Fox's Kristen Fisher, we've also learned that the research for the dossier was triggered by a conservative website with ties to the GOP. The number of dead in Somalia's capital is up to at least 13 following a suicide car bombing outside a hotel and gunfire inside. Extremists are said to be holed up on the top floor. The al-Qaeda-linked group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On the next episode of Recipes for Disaster.
So we've got our neighbor Paul coming over tonight for a barbecue, which is why I prepared a delicious lemon rosemary steak marinade from my special collection of old family recipes. To make sure the steaks are extra tender, I left them marinating out on the counter overnight, just like Nana used to.
Maria may mean well, but without food safety, it never ends well. Always thaw or marinate foods in the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or you could make your friends and family really sick. Maria's neighbor Paul didn't think twice about the steak he ate until he was presenting his company's financial forecast to the board. That's when a sudden bout of food poisoning made it explicitly clear that profits weren't the only thing on the rise. Watch Recipes for Disaster at foodsafety.gov. You'll learn the right steps as Maria does everything wrong. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Don't miss Theron's Saturday Night Rockin' Rhythm Review. It all kicks off at 4 p.m. with the Saturday night edition of the Bone Conduction Music Show.
Man, you better be getting with the beat. It's the Bone Conduction Music Show. You can't get with the beat on this radio program. You got a hole in your soul, Jack.
From 6 to 8, it's Eddie's Caravan with Fast Eddie.
The Moonglows with a great jump tune from 53, Whistle My Love.
At 8 o'clock, we explore America's roots music with Radio John D. and the Greasy Skillet.
And that's another playlist archive pick from listener Mark. Thank you, sir.
Then, Dan Martin brings you the best music of the UK on London Calling from 10 to midnight.
The great 60s tunes, but also the 70s, 80s, 90s, and current stuff.
Followed by Del Villarreal's Rockabilly Fest, Go Cat Go.
That was New York City's own Tom Dorsum right here on Go Cat Go, the Rockabilly Show.
Hey, baby, do my little pet.
It all starts Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. on the musical side of Wham!
Enjoy the fall this year with the Mule Skinner Boot Shop in beautiful downtown Chelsea. Celebrate cool weather with new Western boots. Boots from Tony Lama, Lucchese, Nocona, and Justin. Check out boots from calfskin and bullhide. And check out the exotics such as ostrich, goat, and boa. Check out the work boots from Double H. Sturdy work boots with affordable protection. Check out the hats from Resistol and Stetson. Pick one in your own personal style. And remember, the Mule Skinner has all your concealment requirements: leather vests, handmade holsters, and belts. Made-to-order holsters are also available, custom fit to your exact make and model. So come on in and check out the Mule Skinner. And check out the traditional Western boots, traditional Western hats, and the custom handmade holsters and belts. That's Bill Kahn's Mule Skinner Boot Shop, 112 North Main in beautiful downtown Chelsea, right next door to Wine's Own Main. Western hospitality to you, Mule Skinner style.
The views, opinions, and content of this broadcast do not necessarily reflect those of this station or its management.
Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And thank you for, here we go again, all right? Thank you for tuning into The Drift, and it's Saturday, and Gary's back, if you can imagine that. But, yeah, so anyways, forgive me for being a little out of sorts this morning.
It's the producer's fault.
Joining us in studio, Ed Bonderenka.
Hey.
Good to have you. And producing for us, Dan.
Dan Martin, producer extraordinaire.
I wouldn't go that far. I used to be when I did it every weekend, but now I freely admit that I'm crap at this.
All right. Well, anyways, what we do on the Drift every Saturday is go over the news.
You need to know.
Yeah, you're off on me there, too. It's the dailydrift.com. But anyways,
let's try.
Can I just go home? And welcome to the Drift. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, we're off a little bit today, but I was off last week in Korea.
Out of practice already.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things, right? It is what it is. Okay. So I went to Korea last week, right? And I was there on work and got to spend some time with the people of Korea. All I can say is Seoul is a beautiful city. If anyone ever wants to take a vacation to Asia, Seoul, very clean, very beautiful, very safe. Crime way, 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 way low. You will feel absolutely safe 4 a.m, anywhere in town, at least parts that I went to. And great people. I was treated very well by my company and my friends and the people that I got to spend time with. And just a great place. Now, I did ask people, about how they feel about the North and North Korea and the things that are going on. And I think, it's kind of odd. People kind of don't think about it. It's much like when we were under the Cold War, right? And you would worry about, you just kind of push it to the back of your mind. You can't think about it all the time.
That's the best way to live.
Yeah. I mean, 30 miles away, they've got howitzers, 20,000, whatever it is, that could rain shells upon this big, huge, modern, beautiful city. And a complete psychopath just north of the border who has a 1 million-man army. But for
Lots
most of them,
countries have crazy leaders.
Not this bad. But anyways, so this guy, I think people just put it out of their minds. They go on about it. How else can you have to work for a living? It's an expensive city, right? Very expensive. Apartments are like $1 million for just an apartment, right?
Korean bucks or American bucks?
Related to to American dollars, right? Now they use the won, the South Korean won, which is like 1,100 to 1 over here. So your bills are all like super huge, $1,000 bills, right?
Yeah.
But and that'll get you a bottle of water. But a very nice, expensive, modern city. The traffic was terrible because you squeeze a lot of people into a city that doesn't have a lot of room. But beautiful. The hills are beautiful. Just an excellent city. If you're going to go to Asia, I would suggest, Seoul's probably a good place to at least start and check it out. And it's easy in. Their airport was very efficient. Customs and immigration, very efficient. Just a great city and a great time.
When you flatten a country in the 50s and rebuild it, you get modern.
Just like Japan, right?
Yeah,
Nagasaki. Yeah. No, it was a good trip. So. Be that as it may, I did find out one interesting fact, and it kind of plays out to the reason why we drink. Allegedly, highest per capita drinking in the world.
Wow.
South Korea. And they do know how to party, I will tell you that. I mean, the big drink, it's not like I didn't see a lot of people drinking liquor. Some people drinking wine. But beer with soju in it, which is like a sake, right? And so they're basically, everyone's drinking Boilermakers all the time. Either doing shots of the soju or drinking Boilermakers, which is your beer, and the soju in it. So which is good. It makes the beer taste actually really good, which makes it hard to stop.
Did you have any Seoul food while you were in Seoul?
I had a lot of Korean food.
Okay.
And I got to practice with my chopsticks, right? Which I'm pretty good. When you go to a Chinese or Japanese restaurant here, they give you the wood ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
plastic. I get plastic.
Wood or plastic, I'm good with. Over there, they have the metal chopsticks.
What?
Not so easy, because, you get knife, fork, and chopsticks, but they're all metal.
That's weird.
Yeah, a little tough to work with the metal ones, because they're a little more slippery sliding. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny, here I am in some place, not being super familiar with traditional Korean food and eating, and I'm trying to use chopsticks for everything, and a couple of guys are like, dude, that's why we give you a spoon. Like, oh, okay, I guess I don't need to be using the chopsticks for that. But it was a learning experience, so really good. I enjoyed it. Well, let's take care of our sponsor this half hour, Hamburg Pub. Halloween party. Oh, it was last night. We missed it. It was the 27th. Anyways.
Yeah, but we announced it last week. You did it last week. Maybe not so well, but we did.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you got through that then. Well, anyways, who else can we do? I don't know.
Do Hamburg Pub. A nice place to go. They're a great place to go. Yeah,
it'll be still a fun place to go. 810-231-3344. Find out what they're doing tonight. Call up Donna. 810-231-3344. Hamburg Pub. They did the Halloween party last night, but they're probably still partying for Halloween tonight, so you can still get dressed up and go if that's what you want to do. And they're located right in Hamburg there off M36. Easy to get to and a fun place. The best pizza in the area, without a doubt.
And if you can't do
Wait a minute. Pizza where?
Hamburg Pub. You've been to Hamburg Pub.
I have.
Yeah, Hamburg Pub's pizza is out of this world.
Really I think I played there in a band.
I think you have. I would have swore I've seen you tell me in the last 6 years that you were going to play. I don't know if it was.
My memory's not what it used to be because I'm getting closer to 50. But anytime,
how do you think I feel at 53, Dan?
Near dead.
Okay, I'm not commenting.
But anytime I hear the words pizza, my ears are like a German Shepherd.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, what?
Get off my lawn.
What?
Yeah, their pizza was good. And I went to Burroughs last night, and their pizza was fabulous, too.
And they built a Buddy's recently over by Best Buy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I like Buddy's. Buddy's is good.
I could eat a different pizza place every day for dinner as long as I could eat at a different taco place every day for lunch.
See, now you're hitting me right in the gut, too, because tacos are my favorite.
Now, have you ever been to Xochimilco in Detroit in Mexican Town?
Oh, heck yeah.
And
Isn't that most incredible?
And what's the one across the street, the one that's more Costa Rican?
Oh, I don't know, because every time I get that close to Xochimilco, there's like a big magnet that just pulls me in.
No. Well, there's one across the street, and I can't remember the name. My brother turned me on to that one. And it's kind of more Costa Rican as opposed to...
Oh, that sounds good.
And it is very, very good. I like it better than Xochimilco.
And if you ever, say you go to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
There's a place down there, and it's called El Rancho Grande. It's on Colonel John Glenn Avenue. If you're in Dayton, you must eat at El Rancho Grande.
It's in Dayton. Isn't that right, Pat?
Yeah, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It is the.
It's a joke, son. It's a joke.
Isn't that right, Pat? Yes. But it's it's the greatest museum in the freaking world. I love that place.
My only claim to fame with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is decades ago when I was in the asbestos removal business. I was an estimator, right? And you would go to these places. They would grab all the estimators, and we would go in. And, of course, it was an Air Force base, right? And they said, so we got some asbestos needs to be removed in the boiler room and down these long tunnels that run under the air base.
I bet you it was a lot.
So we get in, and they give us our initial brief inside the boiler room, and it's sparkling clean, right? It's the military. Sparkling clean. I'm sure everything's fine. So I'm like, I'm going to go check out the tunnels, And thinking that it's sparkling clean, no issues, I'm walking down the dark tunnels, and I've got my flashlight, and all of a sudden it's snowing.
Oh, man.
It's asbestos in the air. I hold my breath, and I run like quarter mile, right, to get out of these tunnels, because obviously the sergeants never made the guys go back down the tunnels to clean, So my heart's ready to bust because I'm holding my breath and running to get the hell out of there so that I can
and that's known to cause...
And I had to go get my mask and then go back into the tunnels.
When my dad was in the Navy, he wore a mask made of asbestos to put out fires.
Well, I wish...
That's not funny. I don't mean to laugh.
No,
I'm sorry.
Mesothelioma. I've been exposed to asbestos a million times at this point. So.
It causes brain damage, doesn't it?
In my case, probably.
Not in my dad's case, but maybe in yours.
In my case, yes. I'll use that as my excuse anyways. But all right, well, let's start with something local here because we've got an election coming up.
Yes, we do.
And here in Washtenaw County, they're going to try and put more of these constitutionally illegal, right? And Washtenaw County is famous for this. It's one reason I'm moving out of Washtenaw County. In the next week or two, I hope to be out of Washtenaw County. Free at last. I'm out of Washtenaw County, and these idiots. Did I hear while I was gone that the Ann Arbor City Council was taking a knee or something?
Oh, 4 of them took a knee, and 5 of them stood up with their hands over their heart.
Well, good for those.
So somebody knew what to do, right?
Stop grandstanding, you retards. You've got a city to run. Try cutting taxes and getting services done and doing things right instead of making some resolution. Washtenaw County Commission does the same thing. It's none of your business. We're talking about county stuff. What are you making a resolution about national crap for? Get off there and do your job. It just aggravates the...
I love that you're so vintage that you still use retards.
Absolutely.
That is classic.
People are socially retarded, politically retarded in this country all the time, especially in Ann Arbor. Gosh darn it. It just drives me crazy.
No, I'm sorry. You're demeaning retards.
I'm not.
No. I mean...